Hello everyone, welcome back. So today I'm bringing you my ultimate glute guide. This is the exact structure I've used to build and grow my own glutes. So if you're new to the gym or you're looking for some tips in the gym, I've got everything within this video. So before we jump into the workout, let's have a chat about what actually matters when it comes to glute growth. It's not just random workouts, it's strategy, consistency, and intention. First up, consistency. You need to be showing up to the gym every week. You need to be showing up for yourself every week. If you're thinking that you're going to make progress by showing up once every 2 weeks to do a little glute workout and then go away, unfortunately, you're kidding yourself. So consistency is so important, making sure you get yourself to the gym at least twice a week to really work on your glutes. Next up, progressive overload. So this means over time, upping your weight, upping your reps, and just upping the amount of work you're putting in. So basically what this means is progressive overload is when you start with 20 kilos on the bar, for example on hip thrusts, next week you might add 2.5 either side, the week after that you might add another 2.5 either side. What you're doing there is you're upping the weights, or maybe what you'll do is actually add 2 or 3 reps the next week and 2 or 3 reps the next week after that, then you'd probably up your weight. That is progressive overload. If you're going to the gym and your workout and you're using the exact same weight every single week, your body isn't going to react to that because that's now the norm. Your body, it can already do that. It's already built the muscle it needs to do that weight. What it needs to be is pushed. So progressive overload, make sure you're doing that as well. Thirdly, movement variety. So this is compound lifts, unilateral lifts, and isolation exercises. So these 3 are really important. So your compound lifts are things that work more than one muscle group. They normally work quite a few things, like squats work your legs, your core, glutes, so they work different muscles. Then you've got your unilateral movements. Now these work specific muscle groups and they do one muscle at a time. So these might be something like a single leg press, so you're working that specific leg, targeting that leg only. These work really well for imbalances. So for example, if you were leg pressing with both legs, you might find that one leg actually is taking over and it's actually stronger than the other, you haven't realised. So doing unilateral movements just really allows you to tell which leg is doing what. And then isolation exercises are also fantastic. So these are just focusing on one muscle group, so really loading that muscle. If you have any questions about the workout, I love chatting with you, so please drop it below. Or if you want help structuring your own workout, please let me know in the comments below. Also, I will mention, if you like this shirt, it's from Power Fitness, so I will tag the brand below in the description, but they're really affordable, and with my link below you can get 10% off on top of that as well, so it's pretty cute. I'll put a little picture here of what the back looks like. Okay, so let's get into the actual workout, shall we? Starting with the dynamic warm-up, think leg swings, glute bridges, banded lateral walks, just 5 to 10 minutes to activate and prep your glutes. So the difference between a dynamic and a static is that you're actually moving when you're doing the dynamic. So you're actually trying to warm up these areas and actually trying to wake them up a little bit. Whilst a static movement is more when you hold it. So, you know, if you do like a bent head, one of these type things, you hold it there, you know, you start counting. So the first main movement are hip thrusts. So as you can see here, I'm actually using a hip thrust machine because this is what the gym has. There is no better option between a hip thrust machine and a barbell. So a barbell hip thrust, you have a little bit more ability to control the movement because your body can take that bar where it wants to. Whilst the hip thrust machine, because it's a set machine, you're going where the machine's going. You know, that's not going to bend to your will. So that's the only difference. So sometimes the machines can be a little bit better for hitting your glutes. However, some people feel that they don't hit their glutes on the machine and they hit it better on a barbell. Either is completely fine. The main point is doing a hip thrust. So I've done 4 sets of about 8 to 12 reps. So focus on a strong squeeze at the top and a slow controlled descent. I then also like to hold it for, again, about 2 to 3 seconds at the bottom before bringing it back up to the top. And again, you just really want to focus on the movement, really think about your glutes here. You want to keep your head tucked to your chest. That really makes sure that your core's tightened and that everything and all the tension is in fact on your glutes. When you start tipping your head back, your core becomes weakened and that's when you start to get injuries. So Let's not be doing that, it's definitely not worth it. Next step is Romanian deadlifts, RDLs. So I do about 3 to 4 sets of about 10 reps. So what you want to do here is you want to keep a soft bend in the knee at all times. This is to prevent injury, and hinge from the hips to stretch and engage the glutes. You really want to be pushing back and thinking about your glutes taking you back rather than you bending forward. So if you're going to pick something up, you tend to bend forward. But what you want to be doing with this movement is pushing your hips backwards. It's a little bit different and it takes a while to get your head around, but just be thinking of that when you're doing it. As you can see here, I'm using it's actually a belt squat machine, but I'm using it to do my RDLs. This is because this is what my gym has. It allows me to load the plates up, grab a hold of the attachment and kind of just get to it without me having to set up the barbell and everything. However, there's nothing wrong with setting up an RDL on the barbell, and there's nothing wrong with dumbbell RDLs either. It's whatever your preference is. So then we've got sumo dumbbell squats. So what you want here is a wide stance, toes slightly out and the dumbbell held low. So I do about 3 sets of 12 to 15 for that deep stretch and contraction. This movement is really good at making you feel and target your glutes. And also I love it because it's simple. You just grab a dumbbell, start squatting, and it's just easy for that reason, so it's a really nice add-on to throw in. Finally, the Abductor Machine. This is a fan favourite of mine. It's easy, it's simple, you get on, you move the pin, and it's just a favourite of mine. So I do about 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps on this, so this is quite a high rep range, because that part of your glutes, you kind of look at your side glute down here, because that part of your glute can take quite a bit of heat, so I really do like to try and push it with 15 to 20 reps on this one. I want you to go slow, squeeze outwards, and don't rush through these. So they burn, but they work. When you're doing this movement, I want, slow out, slow in. You want to really control this movement, and again, you want to be thinking about where it's targeting. So it's targeting this outer glute, and you want to be thinking about that movement. With every movement you do, you want to have a rough idea in your head what it actually is that you're training, because that allows you to really think about that muscle and make sure that you're actually working the correct muscle, because there's nothing worse than doing something and you're feeling it in a place that's completely different, and possibly you don't even realise that that's the wrong place. So just try and have a little bit of an awareness what muscle it is you're working when you're doing a specific movement. So those are the 4 movements that I do on my glute day. Now everybody is different, everyone likes different movements, so give everything a little try, especially in the beginning. Really try and see what movements it is that you like, but eventually once you figure it out, make sure you stick to the same movements, stay consistent and really push yourself through them. Now, none of them are comfortable. They're not supposed to be comfortable. That's what we're doing. We're trying to make micro tears in the muscle. We're trying to make ourselves bigger. It's not going to be comfortable. But just push yourself, because I believe in you and I just know that you deserve everything that's coming to you. So just push yourself. And I cannot stress this enough. You cannot outtrain a bad diet. So make sure you're eating enough protein. Make sure you're fueling yourself. Make sure you're drinking enough water, because a lot of people like to say it's a 20-80% rule, 20% the gym, 80% your nutrition. That builds a well-balanced diet and builds a well-balanced lifestyle, and what helps you build muscle. So keep that in mind at all times. You can't have one without the other if you're wanting to see the best results. So that is it for my ultimate gym glute guide. If you try it out, please tag me. I do have multiple different social medias which I will tag below, and just let me know what you thought of it, or if there's any other movements you'd like me to show you, and I of course will make a video on it. And of course, if you liked this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see everyone next time.